Do you have enough willpower? In the 1960s, researchers at Stanford conducted what would become a very famous study. A large group of 4-year-olds was brought one by one into a room. In the room, there was a table with a marshmallow on it. A researcher gave each child a choice: either eat the marshmallow now or wait a few minutes and have 2 marshmallows instead. The researcher then left the room for 15 minutes. Only about 30% of the children managed not to devour the marshmallow in the researcher's absence. But here's the interesting part. When, years later, the researchers tracked down the study's participants, who are now adults, they found that those who had exhibited the greatest willpower and waited the full 15 minutes had ended up with the best grades in school, were more popular on average, and were less likely to have drug addictions. Willpower, it seemed, was a keystone habit that could be applied to other parts of life too. So, what is willpower? Willpower is the motivation to exercise will. A person with strong willpower will assert decisions even in the face of strong opposition or other contradictory indicators. A person with little willpower will give in easily. Willpower is the urge, desire, and commitment to resist temptation and to follow determination. How does willpower work? Willpower and habit forming go hand in hand. In previous videos, we spoke about how brain priming and addiction leads to repeated and expected behaviors. This is where willpower comes into play. Willpower is the tool necessary to make it to the point where something becomes a habit. Imagine that you wanted to create the habit of getting up at 6 a.m. every morning to go to the gym. You set your alarm and you're ready to start forming this new habit. Except, when the alarm goes off at 6 a.m., you hit snooze. This is where willpower comes in. Without willpower, you'll never get to the point where the trait you're trying to instill becomes a habit. Willpower allows you to fight that urge to hit the snooze button, get up, and go run. It allows you to do so long enough to where this becomes a habit. Want to be more successful at creating habits? Then strengthen your willpower instead of writing it off. Can you run out of willpower? Willpower is not an infinite pool of motivation. It's like a muscle that can tire over time. If you exhaust it by concentrating on, say, a tedious spreadsheet at work, you might have no willpower left when you get home. But the analogy goes even further. By engaging in habits that demand resolution, say adhering to a strict diet, you can actually strengthen your willpower. Call it a willpower workout. We can deplete our reserve of willpower, and this has been demonstrated in countless studies. One famous study came from the lab of Roy Baumeister. He brought subjects into a room filled with the aroma of fresh-baked cookies. In the room, there was a plate of cookies and a bowl of radishes. Some participants were asked to taste the cookies, while others were asked to eat the radishes and resist the urge to eat the cookies. Soon after, all participants were given 30 minutes to complete an excruciatingly difficult geometric puzzle. Interestingly, the people who ate radishes gave up on the puzzle after about 8 minutes, while the lucky cookie eaters carried on for nearly 19 minutes on average. Drawing on willpower to resist the cookies, it seemed, drained the subject's self-control for subsequent. Fatigue also plays a vital role in willpower or ego depletion. In another study, participants were sleep deprived for 24 hours and then asked to try and suppress their emotional reaction to certain themes in a film. The participants that hadn't slept struggled to contain their reactions as their willpower reserve was depleted from fatigue. It's basically why we get crabby when we haven't had enough sleep. Willpower bridges the gap between desire and habit-forming behavior. There are 3 main ways to strengthen your willpower. Understand that willpower is finite and can be affected by external sources. Make constant pre-decisions like, I will get up and run 5 miles tomorrow morning. And finally, strengthen that resolve by celebrating the achievements that come with the action. If you like this video and want more, hit that like and subscribe button. Tap the notification bell so we can let you know when other videos like this are uploaded.